BetBoom's lineup. My only concern is just I feel like 10-30 in both those games. So if he can get it at a very good time, once again, that is going to be a huge thing for struggle versus the Undying early on. Do you think that's something that they can consider for BetBoom?
I'm just thinking, like, do they have the greatest kill lane, though? Like, Lich, Techies, Undying, it's okay, right? And Magnus, it's okay, but, I mean, you're up against an Undying. He loves being in tri-lanes. You know, he's already got a magic stick picked up. If you're able to get a triple decay off, that's just so much extra HP that he's got to be able to play around with, and it just feels a little...
Tri-lane might be the bad way to put it for me. Just start with 3, get a kill or make an attempt, chuck out some spells, and then dip out through the portal.
The battle begins.
I get what you're saying. I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to secure the kill. That's what I'm worried about. And
sure.
I feel like you're already lacking a little bit of like mana regeneration on Lich right now. Like he's really just itemized for this lane, it seems. He wants to make sure that he's securing the Faceless Voids lane as much as possible. If he had like 3 mangoes purchased up, then maybe. But it doesn't really seem like he's gone that way. Some of that is not Russian. it's Spanish, so maybe you can help me out with that. You said you've been learning a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, but I've been slacking. We don't need to speak about that.
Duolingo or what's the?
Yeah, Duolingo, but it's
that hour.
Yeah, don't remind me that I'm slacking. Honestly, every night I go to bed, I'm like, damn, another day I didn't learn. Another day I didn't do Spanish, and then I wake up and I don't do it. Yeah, that's all right. It's a cycle.
It's like a New Year's resolution, you know. Another day where I haven't done it, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
One day. I'm watching Solo get absolutely bullied top lane. I don't know, Pure and Save their MO to this lane. Spam spells instantly. They were just using sticker bomb, shockwaves. Solo down a low health pool. Of course, he's got a lot of resources to play with, but
he's not that low. Like if you actually look at Pure's health versus his, he's got more, and he's got all of that. Like it's just going to be back at max HP once these decays wear off. So Solo's doing just fine. Like we were talking about having a lot of those mangoes to be able to sustain in lane. Solo's got that in droves.
Oh, that's illegal. You can't be starting with a hard camp pull at this stage, especially versus an Undying. This is just, I mean, that's huge. Pure is going to be able to get a full wave for free. Hopefully they can hold the creep wave away from the tower as well, just to help out a little bit with the equilibrium, but this kind of cannot be allowed.
Yeah, it makes it a little awkward, doesn't it? But, well, it's just good play from Save. I mean, in the period that he was out of the pro Dota scene, we really felt it, right? Like, there wasn't necessarily a shortage of great position fours, but Save just felt like a level ahead of 95% of them in the pro scene. So I'm glad to see that he's back. Glad to see that it is on a team with his good friend Nightfall as well. So, yeah, been putting together some pretty decent performances, but hopefully they can do it on the LAN stage.
That's the big one.
How's that mid lane going? Seems like GPK is doing just a fine job, you know? Like, you're always going to have that attack damage advantage against a Storm Spirit. Whenever he comes forward, he's just going to get a lot of harass out. And, I mean, so I was doing a little bit of research in that little bit of downtime that we had, and, you know, I just typed in, you know, they're kind of similar players, GPK and Kiyotaka, went by Depressed Kid previously, and I found a bit of a clip coming from Koikfa's stream where someone asked, like, hey, Depressed Kid, is he any good? And I'll read you out the quote. So basically, he said, Depressed Kid is like GPK, except Depressed Kid doesn't have the skill. GPK is actually, like, insanely good at the game to match his attitude. So I kind of feel like Kiyotaka's gone into the hyperbolic time chamber recently. Like, he has really stepped up his game, and maybe it's on the back of little comments like that.
He's, again, reformed. A name change is all it needs, and he
embraced anime. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, all right. Let's, I don't know about that. It can't always be the anime superpower, but an extra bash from Mira. All right, Nightfall might be in some trouble. Not the time walk to play with, but it's got some one charges. They're not going to continue the divers, and Tyra's falling pretty low as well, but back and forth. A lot of damage between either side. No kills just yet, 4 minutes in.
They are being very oppressive towards this Faceless Void, though, right? Like, just with Antares' build. No Blightstone, but just able to consistently stay in this lane and constantly be harassing. Like, he's just holding the enchant in case the Lich wanted to use the Frost Shield, but as soon as he levels up and he sees like the little bit of extra damage coming through from the Frost Blast, he knows that he doesn't have it available, so he's using it much more aggressively, and Nightfall's the one suffering. Bottom of the net worth in all of the cores right now, and it's for a pretty good reason. I mean, Spirit Breaker and Enchantress, it's such a strong lane. They're even glyphing aggressively down bottom.
Oh, this is not a good timing now. An extra creep wave to die with along with the Sentinel Conqueror. Nightfall's in a lot of danger. They might just go for the easy kill. Torontotokyo wanting to put his body on the line to protect the carry, but this is still first blood gold, and Nightfall might not even be out of danger just yet.
Charging one.
He's got the charge up in a couple of seconds.
Oh,
see if he's going to be able to find the vision, though. Very nicely done. Nightfall with the pathing. Gets out of danger. Still missing a lot of creeps under the tower, though.
Yeah. And you're up top. You've got things going pretty well for Ramses. He's opened up a little bit of a net worth lead over the Magnus, despite that hard camp pull. Is he going to be in a case to be able to get a lot of harass off? I wonder what his item skill build is going to go as well.
Might die. Oh my lord. Bottom lane as well. It's another kill, this time onto Nightfall, so finally they'll be able to get the carry. This time Torontotokyo can't sacrifice his life. At least they will also get Ramses top lane, so both carries from either side will go down.
It does feel like it's a little bit on the back of GPK for this early stage. The good thing is, it's not necessarily just going to be entirely on that Blink Dagger, right? He's chosen to go the build that he prefers, which is the power treads, just to make sure that you're always going to have some consistent damage coming out in these fights. And he's not like that super early power rune rotator. He uses that to be able to stay in the lane for a little bit longer and pick up that Blink Dagger at a pretty decent timing. It's why we see him get it so early, because he prioritizes getting the farm and then getting the kills off the back of that once he's truly enabled, not wanting some luck off the back of it. Any camps blocked up right now? We saw last game that was the attempted strategy against the Magnus, and they placed down a lot of the sentry wards. It wasn't really all that effective though. Upside Ramsey should be able to get away. But, you know, similar to what we saw from what I was just talking about with the Tiny, Ramses, as soon as he gets that Javelin, I'm expecting to see an early move come out of him. I mean, one of the reasons that we see a lot more of the Wind Ranger play is that you can get quite active as this position 1, and I feel like he's going to need to. Can't let this BetBoom draft get late.
What are we expecting the item build progression to be after the Javelin as well for Ramses? What are you liking at the moment with the carry Wind Rangers?
I don't think they're necessarily lacking massively in lockdown. Like, they've got some. They've got the Spirit Breaker charge, they've got the Electric Vortex, but anything that's just going to prevent the Time Walk and the Skewer is going to be very effective. So I wouldn't even hate seeing this converted into something like a Glypnir, just to provide a little bit of extra control to the rest of his team.
Okay. Still definitely feels like it's a hero that is undiscovered in regards to the carry. Meanwhile, Kiyotaka going to try and make his first rotation of the game.
Nice timing.
Beautiful timing with the Vortex, unable to leap away. Meanwhile, Pure's going to be able to drag back Solo under the tower. Torontotokyo is going to try and tip in. Ramses will stop at least the Lich pursuing on forward.
Shield, maybe, for a little bit of movement.
Nice sidestep as well from Solo.
He gets out. Nicely done.
Don't you just beeline to bottom? I mean, Nightfall being alone, at least if you don't... Maybe you don't get the kill, but he's not going to be able to farm now 2v1.
It makes it a lot more challenging, doesn't it? Maybe might even force GPK to make that earlier rotation. You saw when Kiyotaka made that move towards the top lane, GPK did not move a muscle. And is he going back to be able to pick up this farm in the jungle? Looks like he might be. He's kind of in two minds, maybe looking to go for a smoke with save. They're a little bit undecided right now. Might be using Torontotokyo as bait, perhaps.
This tower just went down to a Dark Troll Summoner. Yeah, they nerfed the rally dude, but this creep still does way too much damage.
Yeah. We were talking about, like, Antares needing to be the one that does this, right? They don't have the greatest tower push right now. You don't want to be using the Focus Fire to take down towers a lot of the time. That is your kill threat for the early portions of this game until the Spirit Breaker really starts to scale. So the fact that he was able to get that one at 8 or so minutes is huge. Immediately makes the move towards this mid lane as well. Torontotokyo is in a little bit of trouble. Let's see how good the Micro is with a Hurricane. Doesn't even need it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, this is everything 9 Pandas needed, right? We said they're going to be able to be active early on, and for BetBoom, you were very reliant on this blink timing from GPK.
Such a great creep to be able to push towers with as well. Just that additional armor that you get off the back of the toughness aura lets you soak up a few more tower hits. Obviously not going to be dealing the damage that you get from a Dark Troll Summoner, but still plenty to deal a lot of this early damage into the tower.
Top lane, Ramses. Thinking about diving Pures. Gotta please distance though against the RP. Stand up, meanwhile back inside the mid lane. Yeah, Save's in some danger. Tombstone's gonna be in dress. That'll enable GPK to be able to run into the middle. He's only got the toss. Avalanche gonna come up in a couple of seconds. It looks like it'll be enough to still be able to get the kill though. Kiyotaka should be fine. Doesn't have the greatest mana pool though.
Radiant's middle tower is
So it gets enough distance away with the zip. They're wanting to hunt though, GPK with a combo up surely, but it'll be a little bit too long. So Storm will live.
Again though, GPK
back to top lane though, Mirror. He's going to make his first rotation now. A deep dive under the tower, but the TP's coming out again. They've got to play their distance, and Ramses sidesteps the RP. They're not going to get the finishing blow onto the Magnus. Even GPK wants to try and TP top to offer his assistance. And Ice Shackle's going to be able to slow them down for the moment. Miro trying to turn back around, but it's not going to be enough. They'll get the kill onto the Spirit Breaker. They will not get Ramses though, but importantly, they do keep Pure alive.
I think GPK has gotten all 3 power runes, so he feels happy enough to make that rotation up towards the top side. He'd also almost finished up the Blink Dagger off the back of that, so you still lose the mid lane, but it's not like he made a move that was going to halt his progression, right? Now that he's got this Blink Dagger, might be able to make an instant move up towards this top side of the map. Maybe even use Pure as bait. Considering he's got that Vanguard. Soak up a few right clicks, get a return kill, but Solo's not the one that you want to get. Might be the one that they have to take, though.
It's nice that Save is nearby as well to get a little bit of experience, because he's really the person that's going to be playing with GPK. So very close to that level 6, and with the extra burst from the proximity mines, probably everyone dies this game at this stage with the damage they've got between the two.
And Nightfall has just been given the business in that bottom lane, though. He will be going the Midas, kind of like what we were expecting. And this isn't any sort of tilt Midas, right? Like, we knew that this was coming. We knew that they wanted to scale. We knew that they would get a lot of value out of the additional levels that you get off the back of that. And it's also a nice response to the Enchantress push. So it's going to suck for it for now, but he should be getting a reprieve very shortly with GPK looking to get quite active. The plus side as well is that Torontotokyo and Save both have their ultimates available. So this first smoke, oh, but it's right underneath the Observer Ward. Solo planting one down after they took that tower. They know exactly what to expect. Kiyotaka can look to just stand as close to this and instantly look to zip away. Doesn't even need to. They might have even seen him plant down that Observer Ward for a little bit more info.
GPK still finds a jump with the follow-up there from Save.
He's going to get away.
And they might be able to turn it back around. He's got the Arcane Rune now with the Arsenal. Kiyotaka looks to zip on forward, targeting Save down for the moment. Even Ramses wants to get involved as well. So 5 members from 9 Pandas in the mid lane. They know how important it is to be able to slow down this early timing out of GPK.
I like just what they did with that timing as well, right? They knew the smoke was coming, so Kiyotaka makes sure to, you know, position himself in a relatively safe spot around the Arcane Rune where the supports can just walk on towards him. And he also pushed out the other lanes at the time on Miro and Ramses. He's only got the 1 point in the power shot, but even that does an okay job at, you know, putting a little bit of push in towards the Magnus, and meant that they were able to make that rotation. Pure's kind of stuck near the bait lake on the top side, forced to TP back. Chuckles are about. Things going very well for 9 Pandas right now, just off the back of these rotations. Again, though, to me, it's more about enabling Antares. Like, he's closing in towards the pipe, but I feel like you might have a little bit of difficulty if you give Nightfall the time to finish up this Midas, and he's got it right now. So he's on the road to recovery, sitting clearly in 6th on net worth right now, but if you can maybe kill him a couple of times. It's going to depend on him being out of position, though, and we know how Nightfall has that sort of 6th sense to be able to avoid a lot of these ganks. Really just not letting up, are they?
Machine Frost gonna try and bounce back. Chrono just on the edge means they're gonna get that extra bounces, and that's the damage required to get the kill. A big first use of the ultimate from Nightfall. We saw just before that attempt that the odds from EGB were slightly favoring the boys on die, but with a kill like that, it's definitely gonna help out BetBoom.
Yeah, for sure. Just off the back of one kill, netting them basically 1,000 gold. Even Nightfall was able to, again, like we were saying, use the Midas onto the Centaur Conqueror that Antares was looking to play with.
Dire's top
So
tower
nicely done
is
by
under
them. Once again, it's a 1-for-1 Wisdom Rune trade. So you have to wonder, like, when is BetBoom going to look to try and take a few towers of their own, right? It's not like they have the strongest heroes to be able to do so. Like, you can't just stand in a lane and slowly hit into the towers because you're going up against heroes that are pretty capable of responding to you. Like, the Undying, of course, placing down the Tombstone makes it awkward. Storm Spirit TP in, zip in, especially with a power rune. The first one that Kiyotaka's got all game, I'm pretty sure, is going to be able to find that quick pick-off. But it really does feel like another one. Yeah. And look at the positioning. Once again, they know. Ooh.
Nice blink away, though. That's a decent amount forced out. I mean, that's
Pure doesn't have it.
Along with Flesh Golem and then double damage rune as well. But
he just pinged out the ward dying next to him, so they'll know that they don't have some sort of crazy sixth sense, at least, to be able to play around with, but they are starting to scale. You know, it was a clear 6 net worth on the Faceless Void. He is picking up a lot of this farm. He's going into the Maelstrom like we were expecting. And, you know, knowing that now you don't have to contest against this Flesh Golem, there's no Tombstone as well, gives them a little bit of a safety net, I suppose you could say. OGD as well.
Mid lane, GPK. Jump on the Storm Spirit. They need to be perfect with the chain control, and with the RP dropped, it looks like they will be.
Everything.
Even Miro, though, tries to go in to protect his mid lane, and now Miro might be in some danger. Ramsey got to try and hold them back, but it just sets up for a combo out of GPK onto 2. Means that BetBoom, they're going to be able to find multiple kills, and GPK is even looking for more as well. If he can find the angle for the toss, Pure's at the ready. I'm trying to skewer to get the vision, but a nice stealth to split away. Tyre's out to the east.
Found him.
Solo up to the west. They will still be able to catch him though. GPK over the top. You cannot let this happen. BetBoom again. We said this is a lineup that will scale much better than 9 Pandas, and the fact that they have an even net worth lead now has to be very, very worrying.
Yeah, concerning for sure. And again, like, this is just the power that you get off the back of just one failed gank. They really just have to keep their foot on the accelerator as much as possible. And with Ramses TPing down towards the bottom side with a power rune of their own, might be looking to make a play. They know that they're there, but I mean, again, it's with a Chronosphere up and available, so he'll catch him.
They don't know how to haste though, so Ramses
tower is under attack.
Little bit cocky. GPK finds the opening thanks to the power, and you mentioned that he's been able to get multiple this game. They still want to try and hit back though. So a mirror combination together. Can they do this though? They're already here from BetBoom, all 5 members. Nightfall waiting the wings to find a perfect opportunity for the Chronosphere.
As soon as they're ready, they just back up.
Splitting away, making sure they don't group up. Solo steps a bit too far forward.
Nice toss.
With a toss away. Great timing out of the Tiny. Miro's going to get nothing out of this attempt, and once again, another skirmish will go the way of BetBoom and potentially a tower to add to it.
All the while, you're just constantly seeing the Empowers put onto different targets. All of the Tiny, Magnus, and Faceless Void have it, and they're just crushing them with damage in a lot of these fights right now. They don't have the greatest team fight on 9 Pandas. It's all around pick-off, and if they can't find that initial pick, they're always going to be able to turn it around, especially now that the net worth lead has swung heavily in BetBoom's favor. And they're even getting towers, right? We were saying before that they don't necessarily have the greatest early game tower taking lineup, but if you could get a few successful kill attempts and use that to just know that there's no responses coming, you're always going to be the one in the green, as Save even just getting some D wards off as well. We'll get his own ward removed, but have a look at Ramses. He's just trying to get as aggressive as possible. GPK though stops a lot of that aggression coming forward. Torontotokyo, I think you might just need to give him up.
Save? If revealed his own position, they might look for the techies as well. The rest of Radiant is starting to move down to bottom. Nightfall's here. Even Pure's in the neighborhood as well, but the blink ready. Pure connects onto 2, but where's the form? Save's going to be able to jump in with the blast off. And now they've got the Chrono for Ramses as well, just holding it for the last second to hold the win range in into place. It's all BetBoom in this game. 3 fights in a row. Pandas, they've had nothing to say about it. This is looking very concerning.
I liked how they were wanting to fight around their vision, though, right? They had this advantage playing at nighttime, placing the observer ward up on the high ground. They just clumped up a little bit too much. And was that the Blink Dagger reveal as well for Euro?
So, yeah.
I kind of feel like it was. So it's just, again, the power of information. They thought they had it, but such a big spell to... such a big item timing to not have accounted for. Poor Solo.
No way.
Their vision is based on movement, Lucky. As long as he doesn't move, he's gonna be just fine. There we go.
Yeah. What do Pandas need to do to hit back in this game? Because it's been all BetBoom. It feels like it's going to continue to be that way. So what do we need to see out of Dire to try and stem the momentum?
It's an awkward position to be in, right? Because I feel like you need this... Sorry, more action happening on the top side. Oh man, is Techie's going to get away? Surely.
The teams nearby, they can maybe come over. Yes, their ultimates are on cooldown, but if it's looking like a decent fight, who's going to be able to find the angle to secure back in Tars? The Chain Force also will just push away Ramsey, so he's going to have to be a little bit more cautious with his positioning. Tars still not dead just yet. It's a beautiful shackle off this 2, sets up the Miro's dive. They still haven't been able to pull anyone up just yet. BetBoom surviving through the brunt of the force. Tokyo should still go down, but Kiyotaka, he used all these mana for that. Meanwhile, GPK, he would get the kill to solo as well. So another Tiny completely in no man's land. Pure's going to try and help out, but once again, a shackle onto 2 from Ramses. It's going to help him reset his position as soon as they see the buyback out of Torontotokyo. Nine Pandas want nothing to do with this extended team fight. As a result, though, Miro will do the sacrifice. Solo, he's still going to get caught up too, as well as GPK. Even looking for Ramses, won't be able to get the Wind Ranger, but they might even be able to get another +1. I mean, Tyrus wasn't able to disengage as well fast enough, so what was looking like a good start to the fight for Nine Pandas, they just stuck around for a little bit too long, and BetBoom were able to capitalize.
It was good little movements coming out from Ramses in that fight as well. Like, I saw him dodge 2 different avalanche combos. He made sure that he was never the target for, like, a stray Techie's Mind coming out on top of him. He made sure he wasn't time dilated by the Faceless Void as well. Speaking of which, he found out Kiyotaka.
Search at Ching, beautiful done from Pure once again with the Blink Dagger to be able to set up and... Is there a way back in? Man, this has to be a very concerning position.
I feel like they went for that fight because they felt like, all right, well, we finally got an item that allows us to fight, and it was the Pipe of Insight on Antares. But to me, I guess the other thing on top of that was they knew that there was no RP, they knew there was no Chronosphere, so it gave them a very small window to be able to make things happen. By the way, just net worth check on Nightfall. He's about to go #1.
Yeah.
You don't have the BKB yet on Ramses. He's just got it coming out now, so at least now that's going to be a lot more effective for fighting. And Miro, great charge to be able to start things off, but he didn't have the Shadow Blade just yet, so the damage was still a little bit lacking. Didn't enable them to get the kills that they actually needed to feel confident in that fight. But now they've got both, and they've almost got level 12 on the Spirit Breaker as well. So I feel like you're going to be feeling a lot more confident with these couple of items. Maybe might just want to wait for Kiyotaka to get the Kaya Sanj, just to give them that little bit of extra, I don't even want to call it sustain, but just way to focus on damage as opposed to your own survivability just through the status resistance, right? But
what? He's got a scepter? Are you dude, GPK's so goddamn rich, Miero. There's no escaping this one. So many heroes from BetBoom starting to move on down to bottom. Miero. He's not going to be able to make it. That's right next to the pit. They might just walk in. What's going to stop BetBoom? They got a Solar Crest now as well for the techies, so once he gets down here, this is going to be an easy rush for them.
Yep. I mean, poor Antares. He's trying to keep these lanes influenced towards the BetBoom side of the map, but really makes it a whole lot more difficult. I don't even think they'll need that. I mean, they've got so many big beefy right clickers in that Tiny Magnus and Faceless Void that this should die without even the need of the Solar Crest. Yeah, GPK kind of thick right now.
Not even him, dude. That's... And then the 3 cores on BetBoom. You just see this multiple
Bang, bang,
games.
bang,
Solos.
bang, bang. Well, you should just live, but not for long.
I'll be able to catch up to him with these. Oh, Kiyotaka?
Doesn't have
Is
matter
that
to
damage for the tiny?
Absolutely not.
And they're starting to TP him. The chain control needs to be perfect, save considering for the blast off. They're coming from the portal. It's just Tokyo though.
Or maybe, oh, you wouldn't catch him on the retreat, could you? Torontotokyo, he's chasing him down. Doesn't have the cast range though for that Sinister's Gaze.
Dire's top
They know where Kiyotaka is, and just knowing that he's having to be on the retreat, he is happy to accept that win.
Look at the tires though. If someone's going to be killed off on the side of 9 Pandas. It's not a core though, so Kiyotaka, but he's not farming, which is the big thing. Back to base he goes, but T1 Tower mid's going to drop. 9,000 net worth lead now for BetBoom. Still ready to go. Ultimate to the ready. Maybe their mana's a little bit low, but that's not going to be a concern for them.
I mean, it's a net worth lead that's growing for BetBoom, right? But you can't fight into a Chronosphere, Chain Frost, RP. You just can't. So I think it's just about expanding the map as much as possible. You've got decent ways to be able to push it with the Storm Spirit, with the ability to get away.
Saw him charging top, observe a sentry, and they're just able to cut him off. Yeah, it's just.
It's what he has to do, though, right? Like, he needs to make space for Ramses. He's going into the Glipnir that I was talking about, but it's going to be a little bit until he gets into that. And I really feel like they just want to dodge out this Aegis completely. It's going to be another 3 minutes 20. And BetBoom, despite the relatively weaker start to the game, just because they don't really have the heroes for it, they absolutely have the ability to fight now. I mean, 3 minutes left on the Aegis. They haven't reached their item timings yet on 9 Pandas. I think, you know, giving up solo is kind of fine, right? Like, Ramses, he's pushing in this bottom side. He's getting a little bit of that farm for himself. He's only 500 gold away from being able to pick up that Glipnir. I mean, they're going into a Scythe of Ice as well on the Storm Spirit. This really does just feel like, right, we need to 100 to 0 Nightfall when he doesn't have that second life and he's not able to use the BKB. But I mean, if BetBoom are smart, which they are, they're a very good team, I really don't think that there's too many instances where they want to be split up from each other. You know, it's just going to be quick shove out of the lane like GPK just did in the mid lane, use the tree volley to push it, and then go back up and join the rest of the boys, because there's nothing really that punishes you if you clump up in a big group on 9 Pandas, right? Like, maybe the Spirit Breaker charges through 5 of you, but then what? You know, you have to think about what's coming the other way. Chrono, Chain Frost, RP, Tree Volley, Avatos combo, Techies, like, so much AoE damage that they've got right now on BetBoom.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they don't need a bigger lead than this. I think they'll just get it naturally off of the cleave, off of the Midas, off of taking more towers and reducing the space that 9 Pandas have to play with. Remember, they're playing with a Spirit Breaker. He needs vision to be able to catch people farming in more difficult areas, but if the team doesn't have the ability to connect through to you, then that's going to be so much more challenging.
And they also need him to scale, and he's not going to do that this game. 8 deaths to Mio, 0, 8, and 4. And your entire Enchantress is in a position where he might be the one, but a lot of the gold just came off the Aghanim shot, and maybe that's going to help out with having an extra creep to split push the map, but not if you lose Kiyotaka. Be able to react fast enough. Doesn't get the longest zip away though, so
Just
too close for comfort though, and they're hunting from mid to bottom. They go, a tier 2 tower, looking to just continue to sweep across the map. Yes, Pandas are being able to find a little bit of farm, but again, it feels like the next couple of fights have to go perfectly.
Man, they're even smoking so that they can get these loaders. I wonder if they heard that coming through on BetBoom as well. Yeah. Oh, poor Miro. He's got the blade wheel at least, but
he's zooming.
How much of a reprieve will that give him? Ooh.
Oh, that's a...
And they'll get a kill down bottom, maybe?
Okay.
That's a big one.
Whoa, that's GPK.
Yep. I mean, we just saw the impact of that Glipnir, right? GPK was going full glass cannon. Looks like he still will, but really wouldn't hate to see it buy a BKB just so that he's not subject to even just the Enchantress damage that you mentioned coming the other way, but a lot of this magic coming from Ramses as well, considering he's gone the Glipnir as opposed to like an MKB sort of style.
Sorry, what are defensive items?
Dire's
I only know how to
top
kill,
tower
man.
is
Come
under
on.
attack.
That's true. He does have the
kill
grow, plenty of
people-
armor.
Come on.
They're stunned
if you
for
kill
50
them
seconds, you know?
first, exactly right. They can't do anything to you. No need for BKB.
It's just the kill
BKB
part
for
that's the hard. You know?
Not for them this game. 4-1 and 12. You've been killing boys along with all of that.
No, for Pandas, I mean.
Oh yeah, 1-9. For them, they're struggling. They're definitely struggling. Maybe bottom. They've got some very good vision set up at this side of the map. So this could be a possibility for them. I mean, they're starting to bring multiple numbers down towards this area as well.
I'm loving some of these wards placed by Solo, right? Just in really clever positions to be able to scout out a lot of the movements, like not really standard places to be able to put them. There was one just to the south side of the, sorry, to the west side left of the tier 2 Radiant Tower at the bottom of the stairs. So a lot of the time you need a sentry to be able to cover that, as poor Solo giving up his life again, but it's for the greater good. You know, they really are desperate to start scaling. They went the consistent ganking route, didn't work out, but they know that at least they should be able to find a pick-off if you can get into this Scythe of Vice, if you can get into, you know, this next big item for Ramses, which is the Glipnir. Sorry, did I say Glipnir? Nullifier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Who is that ideal pick-off that you want them to get inside a big team fight, though? Void?
Has to be Void.
Okay.
He's a big part of the
Can they?
damage, and the... I think they can if they have... Well, maybe not now with the Lincolns. That makes things a whole lot more challenging. So it might need to be like Kiyotaka using the Vortex first and then the Scythe, just to provide that initial bit of damage. Again, it's going to depend on whether BetBoom continue to play together or not. Like, they've been kind of clumped together right now, and their net worth is still growing. Some of it was on the back of towers, but even... I think it was a 9k net worth lead when the previous tower went down, and it's already up to 11. So they're finding pickoffs and still farming just off the back of cleave from Empower with 3 melee heroes and a Midas. So I think they could just continue to play around together. That Chronosphere's back up as well for Nightfall. Just take away the last tower, maybe even snipe away the next Tormentor as well.
Stupendous!
Looks like GPK wants to be able to rotate and quickly shove out these lanes back the other way. Of course, them scaling as well is never a bad thing.
They may have smoked once again under a ward, but meanwhile, 9 Pandas, they're playing underneath a Radiant Observer ward as well.
Mira's
So the
not
trap
there,
they're
he just started his
trying
bottom.
to... The trap they're trying to spring is gonna be thwarted. Oh, nice hit, but
I've been wondering.
did actually even commit the cast to the RPs. That's on cooldown now. Jimson's gonna be
Run
even
away
used
from
as
the
well
two.
for 9 Pandas, so wanting to try and
Surely they
set up a stronghold.
Right. Sentry ward in Taraz's inventory, but they go for a smoke. I don't know if that was right on the edge of it or not. Kiyotaka just going to the high ground for a little bit more information. It's a relatively long Roche spawn as well. 2+ minutes. So, I mean, that's where BetBoom want to be fighting, right? In these clumped up areas. But even with the RP on cooldown, it's the value of fighting with a team is always going to be very valuable. You've got great AoE damage on BetBoom. It's just about exploiting it, but they haven't really gotten any objectives off the back of this. And Ramses, he's been using the Glitnir and the Power Shot to pretty full effect. Just the 1 point in the Power Shot, actually, going all into the attributes after that. Again, Wind Ranger, Universal Hero, so that's obviously has great benefit to it. Even just the Glitnir, I mentioned the control aspect of it, but all of the stats that it provides, so great for a damage output as well. 221 damage.
This is really the next big timing they're going to have, though, for 9 Pandas. That Nullifier and Hex in combination together. If this fight does not go their way,
And the lanes
it's
are
going to be
really
a
well
long
shot
time.
as well. They might be able to
Radiant's
get someone to
middle
TP
tower
back
is
and then
under
quickly
attack.
find the pickoff if they show on the lane. BetBoom don't want to have to
Radiant's
take the bait. Oh, they'll
turret
see the
has been
courier. Kiyotaka picks it off first, so they know where the storm is. And they're continuing to just group up together. It might even just be who gets some sort of high ground vision down.
Smoke from BetBoom. They're going to see Kiyotaka's got the shield rune, though. Chronosphere's still going to get dropped from Nightfall. Shield rune does not matter at all. Look at the damage between them. Pure's going to be able to find the angle for the skewer as well, but no RP
Ramses
to
is doing a lot.
GPK, he's going to end up being killed off, but I don't know if Ramses has the damage by himself to be able to turn the fight. Still a shackles onto 2. He's able to set up for the kill onto save. In the end, looks like it's going to be a 2 for 3 with Solo also going down.
They found Ramses.
He found the plus +1, and now the RP's back up, ready to go, holding Ramses deep into place so Nightfall can get the damage out, and now they'll turn back to the easy kill into Solo, making sure there's going to be no escape for the poor old Undying, as BetBoom once again come out on top in another team fight. And this was really the big concern in the draft. We mentioned it, saying it once it got to this stage, 5-on-5s were going to look very difficult for 9 Pandas.
I mean, such a great presence of mind coming through there from Pure as well, realizing that Ramses was on the retreat, but they got to nerf Harpoon's cast range, man. It is way too big to enable this Magnus hero just to pop off at all stages of the game. They'll still be rewarded off the back of this. They know that the Roshan is happening, and they're even buying back to be able to influence it. But I really don't know if you could look to fight into this without the Wind Ranger. Like, Ramses was the one that did, I would say, about 70% of the damage in that last fight. But even without the Chrono and the RP, I don't think you can contest this.
Let's see if they're going to be able to find it, though. A lot of the attention put onto Torontotokyo, but it's got a buyback. Sam's going to be able to jump over the sun up to 2 sets up for GPK. Miera is blowing up as well. Pure's going to be there for the +1. Solo skewered back into his own death. They tried the attempt, and Ambitious wanted that for 9 Pandas, but without Ramses, they didn't have any damage left to be able to turn the tides, and once again, Pure is always there. What a performance. We said it as well. Another thing we mentioned, that Pure's transition to 3 has seemed seamless, and 8-0 and 18. What a performance from him.
They're doing so much damage. They might have been killed before he goes through the portal, but no, they're just having a little bit of fun with it. They're going to follow him through back to his normal home, away from the holiday on the sunny side of the Radiant. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a good performance from Pure, and again, that felt, I guess, kind of like a desperation play, you know, coming through from the 9 Pandas, just because they had such a rough period of time previously when Nightfall had the Aegis, and they knew that, look, Ramses isn't here, but we're never going to get a better opportunity to be able to make a kill happen again. It's just that, once again, GPK was so on point with that Avatos combination that it didn't even matter that one of their heroes got picked off at the start of the fight. Just scaled far too far ahead, and oof, I just had a look at Miera's net worth, even relative to his Enchantress and the Techie.
They're setting up on GPK mid. Okay, let's blink away from him. He's a little bit too far away from Miera with that charge.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's getting to the point where you're happy enough just to pick off a support at this stage. Like, if you could kill Save and take away the gem and maybe get a little bit of map control for yourself, that'll be kind of nice, because Ramses is trying to scale into that Aghanim Scepter, so just providing that invisibility when he's still attacking is obviously going to be deadly against a lot of this lineup. Who knows? I mean, GPK and Pure have been so on point with a lot of their spell casting that they're probably going to catch him while he's fully invis anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Did you... Man, this physical damage as well with the Scepter is very interesting. 50% reduction? That's... Yeah, is that going to be enough? Or hold that thought, Kiyotaka. I was going to say falling under a ward could be in danger. Let's see. I mean, Mags, a lot of physical, same with Tiny at this stage. Yes, there's magic to go between them along with the Faceless Void, but might be a little bit more survival inside the fights. We'll see if that could be the item. It's going to be a Hail Mary, though, for 9 Pandas. Down 21,000 gold. There's a 92% probability as well for BetBoom, and they're just going to be able to close out the map. They've got 3 minutes left of the Ages. Do it very methodically.
I mean, it's even at the point of the game where, like, he's not a strength hero anymore, but Pure still has plenty of strength to be able to use this Crimson Guard. So, see you later, Solo. Big pick off for him. He doesn't have the buyback, and that feels significant enough for them to be able to just go up onto this high ground. Nightfall, he's almost level 25 as well.
Dire's middle tower.
Just one creep away from being able to do it.
Dire's structures
like,
are fortified.
What? Does a Wind Ranger do anything when you pop the Crimson Guard at this point? I don't think she does, as, well, nearly dies even just to the Tormentor to give the Aghanim Shard over to the Undying. Might help to maybe save from an RP or save from a Chain Frost or something like that, but it's going to need to be perfectly on point. Of course, you need the Undying alive as well for all of that.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Taka just trying to shove out the top lane as much as he can, but there's no real reason for BetBoom to back off. Level 25 on the Faceless Void, and they nearly catch Ramses as well.
You probably just look up to give the full set of barracks, right? I mean, Kiyotaka's working on a scepter. That feels like that's the last ditch attempt, which I think he's farming underneath this Watcher GPK.
Oh, so
man, that's too close for comfort. He gets out though, but that's the last fight we're probably expecting under Pandas. If you can maybe make some crazy play happen with the electric vortex onto multiple people, but he still needs a little bit of farm to get towards that last component.
So I'm just imagining like
on save, what the hell?
Yeah. You need like a 5-man vortex into a 5-man charge into 5-man Glipnir with the focus fire onto someone without the Crimson Guard being popped. Probably Pure at this point, right? There's no real point in going onto the Faceless Void. He's got the second life to be able to play around with, plus the BKB, plus the Refresher. Seems like Pure might be the one just to be able to take out of things, but he's got blinkers of his own. Yeah, you just got to give this up again. Kiyotaka, 20 gold away.
Let's fight Torontotokyo. A 1-for-1 exchange. They're going to be able to catch up to him, though.
That's the win run. But again, I guess they kept the lane shoved, right? So the backdoor protection kicks in.
Hold on.
And Kiyotaka has the Aegis, the Ags now available. Oh, Miro, he has to be careful. Charging to the other side of the map. I believe he briefly shows underneath the ward doing so. They're just trying to get BetBoom on the retreat, trying to wait out this Aegis timing, and it's going to time out pretty much in sync for when the Undying's back alive. So they've got at least a little bit more sustain now, right? Like, you've got the Tombstone with the Aghanim Shard for whoever gets picked off. You've got the Glimmer Cape, Parvus, even a Holy Locket is going to provide a lot of extra save for their lineup, no pun intended.
Do they? I was gonna say, do they have a gem on die, but they do not.
Radiant are scanning.
I
also wonder what does Ramses go at level 25? Because I feel like, again, their lineup is so oriented around pickoff, but you're going up against. Wait, do they have a nullifier yet? No,
on
no
Radiant?
nullifier. Yeah, just against the win run. So
Stupendous.
maybe I don't actually need to go win run, can't be dispelled.
Kiyotaka? See, do they know he's there? I was gonna say.
Alright, this is still all on Ramses for me. He needs to be that killing machine. So now it's actually worth popping Focus Fire onto a support. Like, if you can get techies, if you can take away that Scythe of Vice and a lot of their damage that they've got to be able to play around with, that's such a huge deal.
Kiyotaka, they're pinging a high ground. They know he's there. Knock to the low ground might be his way out, but with a Corona committed from Nightfall, I don't know how they knew he was there. Maybe they saw him before the smoke and just thought he was still staying up there regardless. I mean, it worked out. Had to a couple ultimates
in the area that activated. That's all I can think. And if they have a look at his inventory as well, they'll see a freshly picked up Ag, so they might think, hey, this guy probably doesn't have buyback. So it's another reason, as if they needed another one, to be able to continue pushing forward toward the 9 Pandas base, testing it out, seeing if they can look to that second, maybe even a third lane of racks. 50 seconds feels like nothing at this stage of the game with their heavily scaling lineup.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Graham's just going to go for this blue push, do whatever he can. Try and make the trade somewhat okay for 9 Pandas. He'll get a T3 tower, but meanwhile, Antara's at the mid lane. Pure once again finds another angle.
Under attack.
I mean, this is also a mag with that 25 talent, so extra power damage, extra cleave. Really looking at the damage though for all the cores they've got.
Dire's bottom barracks.
He's being real ballsy here on Ramses, and you kind of have to be, right? He's got enough for buyback in the worst case scenario, so he's going to look to commit, gets a full lane of racks for his troubles. He's thinking that he just wanted to keep an eye on Pure, and when Pure went into the trees, I thought he might have had to back off, but
The error. Starting a couple of seconds before the Storm Spirit. Nero might go down before he's going to be able to get involved. Meanwhile, Nightfall over the corner onto 2. They caught out Ramses as well. Kiyotaku's going to try and do whatever he can to keep Ramses alive, but it's a little bit too late. But the BKB stops the Vortex. They're going to get out as well. The buybacks. 9 Pandas, can they catch up? They'll get to GPK. A lot of help they need to go through BetBoom. They're waiting the wings, ready to jump if they see an opportunity. Shackle's going to stop the retreat. They'll get the kill, but they need more out of it. It was a heavy investment. They'll be able to get the double charge through Miero. Beautifully done. Okay. Still, I mean, it's not
One
mega
range
creeps.
left. Yeah.
But what was it? Miero bought back. Ramses bought back as well. I mean, you're pretty much walking it down, right?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, again, it's good that Ramses was able to influence the one lane that they actually now have an advantage over with just, slightly stronger range creeps in addition to the melee starting to push on this top side, so you don't need to be concerned with it as much. But, yeah, such a heavy investment to be able to pick that one up. I mean, with Miero buying back as well, just sets him further back towards that BKB. But, I mean, even once he gets the BKB, right, you could still get RP'd, you could still get Chronosphered. There's still plenty of damage to be able to, once you're held in place as well with that tree volley. I do like that they put a little bit of extra focus onto GPK, considering they do have this heavy amount of damage on Ramses. And of course, he went the left talent, the focus fire, reducing cooldowns by 20 seconds. So it is just all about just find that one pick off and chain it into another. There is no AoE on 9 Pandas. Those letters are out of their vocabulary right now. It's all about pick off. It's just a matter of who are they going to find out of position.
Middle tower is under attack.
Ramses with that buyback. He may as well buy out. He's got the Daedalus to be able to play with too. It's a full-on smoke.
Oh, mid lane pure.
Oh no.
He's going to be able to catch out. Nightfall as well.
Missing middle.
Buyback. Maybe it's going to be a little bit too deep push into the base. Maybe it's going to be some, some slightly aggressive, perhaps even cocky plays. We saw with the amount of chat lines and everything else that came out at the start of this game that these are... There's no shortage of bans between these guys.
Two gems just... I just saw 2 gems get picked up from Soul and Mantara, so I don't know if they were still left over from that last fight, but all of a sudden Pandas got gems to work with, so if they're going to be able to de-ward while BetBoom once again, be able to get Roche. This time it's going to be the 3rd Roche. The fresher shard for them to work with. I mean, Pure's got an orb, so do you... I mean, GPK?
Nightfall has it, I guess, GPK? Maybe even the Lich, maybe the Techies for the extra
double
side.
hex.
I don't know.
Yeah. I like that call. Yeah.
Get the Ags. Double minefields. Let's go.
Looks like they did pass it back to GPK, but we'll see if it's going to stay inside his backpack. Again, with all the other components.
The rune has been maturing for quite some time, so Antara is able to get a full level off of it on the top side of the map.
Another catch, Pure. This time it's going to be onto Ramses. And another Chrono is going to be used as well. They are feeling themselves. The voice lines, the waves. That's a dieback, keep in mind. Ramses gone for 2 minutes. They're just going to be like to top. They're going to try and do whatever they can. They know that BetBoom is separated, but they don't even see the moment. Alright, boys, back to top we go as Miro and Solo is still in a little bit of danger. I mean, Radiant, they're starting to connect. He was going to be able to intercept. I go for Antares instead. It looks like GPK is going to be able to catch him. Pure is going to be nearby as well. Still the kill.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
It just felt like even when you... they're just going to call it. I mean, this game felt over for quite some time, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
18 or so minutes onwards.
Yeah, I'm down to call it at that. Like, 2 fights, they went back to back. It was like, all right, this is looking pretty grim now.
Yeah, and then they did everything that they could to be able to try and salvage it, right? Like 9 Pandas, or that it really their pickoff style wasn't working out.